Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Factorio Masochists Marathon, now on episode 23. So we start the episode off getting production to switch back on various things we're going to need this episode. I want to put some more trains in for copper and for coal. We also get rid of a few items by shooting them in the box. I could use the zapper thing in picker, but to be honest, I have to go and stick the name in, and I couldn't really be bothered. And plus, it's nice and satisfying just shooting them in a box. So with last episode, us rectifying the dissipation setting for pollution, that's caused a lot more attacks on laser turrets, which means an increased use of power, which means our use of coal right now is pretty crazy. There's almost 3 continuous yellow belts of coal going into that steam area, and I've still yet to put a lot of defenses out in various places. So this episode, I wanted to focus on assuring that we don't lose any power, because the moment we lose power, there's just going to be laser turrets being lost across the board. So we really need to work on that. And a moment ago, we did show on the map a lack of coal getting to the power, and you can see there it's already about to happen. But the coal train does come in fairly soon, I think. But I wanted to get these upgraded to stack inserters so we can get unloading sped up a lot more and just generally get the throughput of coal improved. And we're also going to set up a new coal depot as well. It's the first resource patch on our way to getting that green circuits depot done anyway. And it makes sense to get this coal done. So we're really going to need to get that set up, because if we do lose power, it's just going to be ridiculous carnage. So we hop into the coal train to get up there. I noticed there aren't really many signals down here, and now there's going to be a lot of traffic. You'll see just how much trains are running this episode. It'd be good to get some more signals in. I will take some time at some point to go around them and do it all properly, space them all out very nicely and efficiently. But yeah, that'll be something for another time. On our way up, we do trigger an attack from a biter base here, which then stops the iron train. So I need to come in and clear this base out, because this isn't ideal. And they've gone and just destroyed the locomotive that I had enough engines for, that I collected for earlier, that was going to go to a new coal train, because I kind of want to. It's nice to have one waiting in the depot waiting area, nice and full, so there's never ever a lack of coal. I also need to put timers on the coal outposts as well, so that the trains never sit around and we're not running out of coal as those outposts are dying. I really should do it on all of them, but to be honest, if it's a nice big outpost, I don't really like having the timer. I like to make sure the train is full, although I think a train will fill up in under 30 seconds with stack inserters. I just can't afford to put stack inserters everywhere. So anyway, enough rambling about that. We're going to get on with clearing this coal patch here, nicely pointed out by past me. We're almost working together as a team sometimes. But yeah, so we start getting clearing here. We're going to have a little cut. We're going to jump forward. There's going to be quite a few cuts this episode. I wanted to try it out. There's lots of footage I don't really want to bore you with, and I wanted to get on with the juicy stuff. But it is vital that I show a lot of what I'm doing. But yeah, we'll get on with clearing this patch. So a little ways into getting this cleared, we do have quite a severe attack at coal too. So I need to roll over there and get that sorted. Add some extra turrets in to make sure that doesn't get completely wiped out. So I come and repair the turrets that are here, get a load more added in on the end, just a bit crudely, to be honest. There's a lot of that this episode, me just dumping in a load of turrets, but as long as it works. And we also finally fix that output belt that I noticed while doing the editing in the previous episode, or even the episode before that when we put it out. I can't quite remember now. Anyway, jumping forward again, we're now going to start off with this outpost by laying out the defenses first, and then we'll do the mining after. I think that's a nice order to do it in, and we're doing this just ahead of when we need it. If I'd have left it any longer, we would be running out of coal, because I need lasers to clear patches. We would have been, well, completely screwed, basically. I don't even know how I would get out of that, and while I would be trying to get out of it, the whole base would get trashed. But we run out of turrets, so I head back to the factory to go get some. We also get some medium poles as well, so we come and finish off these defenses. This base to the west is a little bit too close, so I then decide to push forward and get that all cleared out as well with some turrets. Again, there's just attacks going on absolutely everywhere. Now the pollution is like this. I really hope it's not going to be too much of a problem for me to get through this series, but we are now at 0.92 on the evolution. I mean, I think it's going to be fine once we get the next laser turret damage upgrade. It should be a lot better. But yeah, we get all these walls in, get all the turrets sorted out. A little bit of editing here just to make this nice and quick for you, so it's not a whole half of an episode just based on setting up a coal outpost. I mean, it kind of does end up taking about half, but there's lots of stuff going on in between, lots of distractions, meaning this takes a lot longer. And we start getting all the miners laid out, again, just working out how many belts it's going to take to cover the width of the patch. Although, again, with this patch, the top bit is a little bit wider on the west, so we'll just get an extra row added in later on whenever we need it. While doing this, we're going to attack up at copper 3. I'm losing the count of numbers again, but yeah, we jump forward just to come and deal with these. Luckily, they only took out a few belts and the arithmetic combinator, so we get that all cleared up. And then while we're up here, we get yet another explosion. They're just happening constantly, basically. I thought last episode was going to be the worst of it and that we'd pretty much done most of the firefighting, but it just carries on being very difficult again this episode. So yeah, like I said earlier, just dumping in a load of turrets in places just to try and just deal with attacks until we can really start to clear up some of this Red Sea. Constantly also using the map as well just to look around and just check coal is getting to the power okay. Love that feature that was new in 0.15. So handy. So we head back down. And on the way, I come to the copper 2 to come and steal some of the old miners and clear it up a little bit. I was going to be clearing it up this episode with the ×10 montage to make it nice and quick, but to be honest, I noticed the coal problems and we really needed to get on with that. So we steal a load of belts, get the stone and those chests at least moved to the depot. I'll bring a train here at some point just to get this all gotten rid of, and I'll have to sort all this copper out as well. But I wanted to come and steal these stack and setters as well for the coal outpost. So we head over there to get finishing laying all this out. So we get the station in place, get all the signals in. I'm going to use wooden chests again, but to be honest, I should really be using steel. And for some reason, I name it copper 4. It should be coal. It's those C's playing up. And then that messes with the whole numbering. I do realise later on, and I call it coal, but I didn't realise that I need to correct the number, so we'll get that done in a little bit, and we get all the miners powered. But while we're doing all this, we are having attacks in a couple of places that I really need to sort out. But we got 8-4 belt balancer in. We get this all hooked up. And the worst attack is one down at oil 2, which I really need to go and sort out. But I really wanted to get these hooked up first. But we can run out of belt before we can get the last one hooked in. So I make a few more to get the second from last hooked up. And on our way down, we very narrowly miss the train. But anyway, I head over to the oil train and we get down to oil 2. And I clear all this up. But we don't need to watch all of that. So again, we're going to skip ahead. Lots of skipping in this episode, like I said. But yeah, we get it all cleaned up and we head back up. Another thing I wanted to sort out was those attacks on the wall all the way over here. I mean, I know these aren't really pollution attacks, but it's a base that's established right next to the wall and it really needs tidying up. There we are, fixing the coal name, but I didn't realise the number. We also get some attacks over on that east-facing wall near the end of the bus, so that's another thing to add to the list of things to get sorted. The alarm just going off constantly this episode, but I promise I will get on top of it. And when we get that laser turret damage done, it should be a lot better, a lot more improved dealing with these beer moths. So I wanted to come and deal with these walls here. They were only ever meant to deal with expansion. So what I do, I end up deciding to bring the wall back after pushing the base back a bit and having a nice straight line, which does deal with the attacks a lot better, but we still get those perpetual constant attacks, which is a bit annoying. It's going to be very draining of our power. We need to try and avoid these happening at all costs. But we get this all repaired, get all the walls fixed up, which sounds really weird at 3 times speed. It sounds like a weird clicking noise, but as you can see there's still going to be regular attacks hitting that bit of wall, which isn't great. But I've run out of turrets on me right now. I haven't really got enough to push that base back altogether, so I just have to come and deal with it and another bit. We also had another splitter in there because we weren't quite getting enough throughput to feed all of those boilers. To be honest, I need to assess that area and tidy up those splitters because they're not really sharing out the coal in the most ideal way. I've also noticed to get a 4th belt of coal in there, we would be sharing that on the bus, and I don't think we could feed another column. So I really need to get on with doing nuclear because I can't really add more steam. So I am hitting a bit of a point here where I can't increase my power much. I'll probably put a load more accumulators in, and randomly here there's a couple of biters just hanging around the assembly machines, not attacking anything. Don't know where they've come from. They must have snuck through this west wall here. So yeah, did I say east earlier when I mentioned this place getting attacked? I don't know now. Anyway, we got that all fixed up. We put extra turrets in and we head up to the iron outpost because there was again that kind of perpetual style of attacks, plus a load of miners I can steal and some tracks. But on our way down in the train, we do pull a load of biters. And as we saw last time, that didn't end very well for the train, so I tried to get some of those cleared up. But we skip ahead at 10 times speed for this next bit to come and steal a load more miners from the copper outpost and a load of belts. We get over to coal to finish adding in the belts and getting a load more miners added in because we really need this patch. But I can't remember how much is on this patch altogether. It's something like 3 million, so it should really help us out. And you can see coal 1 is nearly depleted. So some further attacks up at iron 2, which I kind of really need to go and deal with, but we're only just up there, so I'm just going to see how long it's going to survive for. And to be honest, it's nearly depleted, so as soon as it's finished mining, those attacks should finish. So back up to 10 times speed while we dismantle the copper 2, is it? I believe, yeah, copper 2. Now, I could have just left this out and edited it out, but 2 reasons I wanted to keep it in. 1, I thought it'd be really interesting at 10 times speed removing the ridiculous amount of belts that we used in this area. And 2, to be honest, the amount of time I had to get footage together for the episode kind of meant I kind of needed to use this because with my work and everything, I'm having less time. So the new editing, I am really enjoying it. I'm like cutting out bits that are boring because it's a lot easier for me because I don't have to struggle for things to talk about. But obviously it takes a lot more time for me. So we get that all taken out, and I just bring up file just to come and grab all this stone because I want to get rid of the station, but there's nowhere for it to go really. I'm going to do a stone depot eventually, so we'll get that in. I also pop a radar in over here at coal 3 and some more turrets because I realised there's going to be attack from the south soon, and they're going to run into the train and ruin that, which we really don't want. So we get this all taken out. While that's all happening, there are some more attacks in various places. We lose a turret over at oil 2, but there's also a big attack at oil 1, so we need to come and sort that out before that goes horribly wrong. We've lost all the turrets there. So I come and clear that base out that was a bit too close. Take out both the bases, actually. I think there were 2 separate bases right next to each other. Get that all cleared up, and I come and stick in a load of turrets for oil 1, but to be honest, I don't really need this outpost anymore. I don't even know why it's still here. We're getting 2 oil a second, so either I'll get rid of it or it'll survive until we get beacons, and that will maybe make it worth keeping in, but I don't really know. I should probably take it out considering the number of oil wells here. It's just insane. It's really silly me keeping oil 1, so I come and increase the turret to oil 2 as well, just to make sure that doesn't get overwhelmed. We come and check our uranium 235. I think we're up to 36 or 37. And we take the copper train back up. While on our way up, we do lose the radar here. So I just come and increase the number of turrets. We really don't want to lose any of our smelting area. So we come up to copper 3 because we lost some turrets here. And as it's the only copper outpost now, the pollution is going to increase and thus the attacks. So our laser turret damage has finally finished. I'm really happy with that because that's going to really help with our fight against behemoths. We're very close now to just pure behemoths or primarily behemoths. We do put in a load more turrets because there was a big attack that came down there. I was quite surprised how big it was and how many behemoths there were. We did also look at the pollution there. It's at 0.931 now. There was a bit of an odd edit there because I'm actually cooking my dinner whilst doing this. I've got some chicken roasting in the oven and I need to go and baste it regularly. So there's some weird edits where I try and cut out the pauses. But we're not going to talk too much about cooking because this isn't a cooking series. And I'm also extremely hungry. I've been waiting to eat this chicken. I can smell it right now. Yeah, it's just making me extremely hungry, so I can't wait to go and eat this. Anyway, we're not talking about food. We've got to stop talking about food. I'm so hungry. So we come down to the random production area to get a load of those engines we started at the beginning of the episode because I want to add another coal train and another copper train. I also lay out the wall thinking I can repair it, but I have still yet to craft those repair packs, but we do get onto them now. At 3 times speed, this is a hell of a lot quicker, but at the time, I wasn't really thinking about it. So we copy the settings from the coal train, paste them onto the new one, and just get it to run to coal 4, even though it should actually be named coal 3. So I do correct that in a second. We also add another copper train, just because there are still gaps in the copper, and stubborn me refuses to put a timer on it, and with 2 of them running, it should run great. So we get that all in, and then I come and correct coal 4 to coal 3. I'm just too eager to get into those Roman numerals. I don't know why I wanted to use them so much, but I kind of like the idea. We're going to have a lot of outposts, so it's going to be kind of cool to get into the numerals. It's going to keep the name nice and short. although it's not really going to go into 3 digits with numbers either. In fact, it's going to be longer with Roman numerals, so I don't even know why I said that. But anyway, we come down to coal 1 just to get this all dismantled. I don't know why I start speeding up with my commentary when watching fast video. I don't know, I get really into it and then I just start talking really fast. I don't know, it's just something it does to me. So anyway, we get dismantling all of this. I get worried about my inventory being too full because we dismantled that whole copper outpost, and then we're going to pick all this up from coal 1. To be honest, I'm going to have a lot of miners on me. I'm not going to need to go and pick any up from the crafting area for a while. That's what's nice about repeating lots of outposts. It's kind of an investment of resources. Once you've invested a certain amount, you don't really need much more because you're just going to be replacing those outposts more and more. Obviously, you'll need more outposts depending on the rate of resources you're using. And obviously, with these settings, it's going to get pretty ridiculous. The combination of poor richness with expensive recipes and expensive tech is going to be pretty crazy. So I ponder for quite a while deciding what to research. But we're going to get on with some mining productivity because it's just red and green right now. It's quite cheap, and with the amount of mining we're doing, it's going to be quite handy now. So I try and mess around with the coal train, trying to get it to come and pick all the last little bits of coal up. Because to be honest, I thought it all picked it up, but it clearly hasn't. There's still a few chests there. And I kind of mess it up, trying to get the train down here to come and pick it up. And we do have to mess around a little bit. It is a bit frustrating. And then whilst looking at the minimap of sending the coal in, I do notice a behemoth spitter and a smaller spitter sneak into the factory somehow. I really don't know how they get in there. So I hop in the coal train, sending it up to come and sort all that out, which then messes with the scheduling. Come and take these out, and luckily they only take out a few belts and damage an assembler. I take the turrets away, and then when I'm walking off, I think, oh, let's just leave them in just in case it happens again. And then I have to go and look for where my coal train's gone. I sort of think, oh, it's been down there and come back up, so it must be empty. And then I realise it's just been waiting there the whole time, crashing into a big pole on my way down. And then for some reason, I take the station out. It's like, I need that for it to come and get rid of the coal. So I try and pick the coal up manually. I put the station in, and it's all just a faff. Andre Schultz, or is that how you pronounce it? Andre Schultz? I don't know. We just leave it, Scholes. We just leave it in like that because we're not going to have this station in very long once it's all gone. So I just have a little look around on the map while we wait. The pollution cloud getting very thick by this point. Very dense in places, especially around the power. That's the worst bit. But that's probably some of our best defenses on the map. I really need to improve the defenses around the iron outpost because they're just not very strong. I've done it at copper. Hopefully that's a bit better combined with that laser upgrade. Yeah, that's really going to help us, that laser upgrade. I can't remember what it was. Was it 30% increase in damage or 50%? It's something pretty crazy. Anyway, the coal train comes and takes all that stuff away for us, which is fantastic. And we take out the last little bits of coal 1. So, next up, I think we're finally going to get to work on the circuit outpost. We've finally done enough firefighting that the attacks from pollution aren't so bad. We're still going to have some destruction here and there. Turrets are still getting damaged, so eventually they are going to get ruined, like here with the caravans coming in. And just various places are still going to need addressing, but I am going to try my best to just put as many lasers out there and keep power going as well, because I'm really scared if power just suddenly cuts out, we're going to be screwed. Iron 2 is nearly completely gone, so that's going to need clearing out, but obviously not a priority. So circuits hopefully next episode, so long as nothing drastic goes wrong. We also take a look at the science there because we're actually producing more than our labs can use. So time for roast chicken for me. That is a slightly shorter episode than usual, but I'm very hungry. But that's going to be all we have time for. I do hope you have enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and please do come and join me in the next episode. Bye-bye.